Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We're going to start by talking about Regill. Now some of this I know and some of this I don't know, so it's going to be speculation, but hopefully we get to the answers in the end. The first thing you need to know about Regill is that he's basically meant to use weapons that are double-edged, such as the gnome hooked hammer. Now, apparently, this is treated like two weapons in terms of the system. So, if he has feats that would affect two weapons, it kind of affects the double-edged ones, at least from my understanding. So that'll explain some things later. The second thing is that he has really high dex compared to his strength, which makes sense because, well, you know, he is a gnome. Going for a strength gnome doesn't make a lot of sense. However, he's also wearing really heavy armor, which you can see the max dex on is 1. Now, he's actually getting a dex bonus of 2 right now, and this is due to some of his class. So we need to go into his class features to figure out how exactly this character works. So let's do that. First things first, if we have a look at, let's go to class actually, this will be an easier way of showing it. If we have a look at his class here, we can see that he gets armor training. So starting at 3rd level, a fighter learns to be more maneuverable while wearing armor. Whenever he is wearing armor, he reduces the armor check penalty by 1 to a minimum of 0, and increases the maximum dexterity allowed by his armor by 1. Every 4 levels thereafter, 7th, 11th, and 15th, these bonuses increase by +1 each time to a maximum of -4 reduction in the armor check penalty, and a +4 increase in the maximum dexterity allowed. In addition, a fighter can also move at his normal speed while wearing medium armor. At 7th level, a fighter can move at his normal speed while wearing heavy armor. Now, this is interesting because he doesn't actually carry on in fighter. He got to level 5 in fighter and then put a point in Hell Knight. Now, this is a little bit weird because Hell Knight also has armor training. Now, right now, I believe he has no levels in armor training as Hell Knight. But what I don't quite know is whether this translates to this. So whether if I go for another level on Hell Knight, will the armor training count as if I've got 2 ranks in it and therefore give me the level 7 bonus? Or does this count as another rank 1, which would then give me the same maximum dexterity bonus allowed? So we would end up with just the +1 to dex. To the dex bonus allowed. It's a little bit weird, it's a little bit janky, and I think it needs some rules finding out, but we can level them up and figure it out and do some testing. Now, where were we? Yes, so he has weapon training for double weapons right now, which you'll see works with his gnome hooked hammer, but it would also work with a 2-bladed sword, a dwarven urgosh, a quarterstaff, or a double axe. Now, I think we might have a 2-bladed sword. I don't believe we have any of the others back at base, but I think we want to keep him with the gnome hooked hammer right now, because he also has that as a weapon specialization. So he gets a +2 bonus on all damage rolls he makes using the selected weapon, and he has weapon focus, which is a +1 on attack rolls. So right now, it seems like it would make most sense for him to stay with this hammer. So that's where we're at. Although he does have shield proficiency, so there is also an argument where we should probably give him a separate build where he has a shield as well. Now, I'm not sure. 2-weapon fighting reduces your penalties for fighting with 2 weapons, right? If we were to give him a spiked shield, does that count as a secondary weapon? In which case, would 2-weapon fighting work with a spiked shield? I mean, it could. I could believe that being a mechanic. So that's some interesting stuff. I'm seeing what else we got. Yeah, he obviously has all of the gnome stuff right now. So bonuses against illusion spells. Defensive training gives him AC against the giant subtype. And he also gains a +2 racial bonus on knowledge world checks. Now that's one that I want to get into, because if we have a look at Studious Squire, which he gets for being an armiger, which I believe is his fighter class, he gains an additional 1 skill rank at each level. In addition, he treats Knowledge World as a class skill. Now, what you'd be thinking is, that must mean that his Knowledge World is pretty good, because he's got it as a class skill here, and he's got it as a +2 racial bonus down here. No, it doesn't, actually. If we have a look at his summary, we'll see that Knowledge World is actually one of his worst skills, which doesn't make any sense to me based upon what we've seen. It might mean that we could level that up fairly quickly, but it's kind of an intriguing balance that we've got here. He has nothing that feels quite right. He's in theory meant to wear heavy armor, but he also has dex. He's in theory meant to have knowledge world, but he has knowledge arcana. It's just, nothing quite adds up for me here. It's all a little bit weird. Now, I was going to see if he has anything else. Yes, so he has Ardent, which gives him will saves against Charm and Compulsion, which I believe can also lead into his class somewhere. Can't remember whether it was in here. It might be in that he gets more as we go on, or it might be in Hell Knight. I think it was in Hell Knight. Yeah, there we go. So, Force of Will. He gets a +2 bonus on will saves against spells with any of the following: Charm, Compulsion, and Fear. Well, we have to choose one of the following, sorry. Which would, in theory, stack with the Ardent bonus against Charm and Compulsion effects. So again, more Charm and Compulsion removal for him, which is interesting. And he gets a Discipline at 3rd level, which looks to be like some kind of spell, which I think Command is probably similar to the Command spell. They don't have any pictures, so I don't know if they're identical, but yeah, he's got some interesting things going on. So what are we going to do with him? I think we just need to level him up and see what comes of it, I think, right now, and then we can kind of work it out on the fly. Now, for his biography, he is lawful evil, and his story starts with black steel. The whitish locks of hair on his head mark the time until his inevitable death, yet his own fate doesn't seem to worry Regill the Renge, a Hell Knight to his very core. For those who hone themselves into living weapons, there is no greater purpose than to strike. However, only time will tell where the strike will land. Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. I believe that gnomes have in Pathfinder. Now, there was a lot of it in Kingmaker, so I don't fully remember it, but I have gone through it once. It's gnomes gain age if they aren't learning new things. It's something like that. They have to keep experiencing new things in order to stay young. So I think that this is him basically saying, well, because he's a Hell Knight, he's kind of committed to not really expanding his horizons beyond just fighting demons. So yeah, he's kind of growing older, which is interesting. So I'm wondering whether that's going to come up at some point, whether we're going to have to make him chill out and, you know, learn to live a little. I mean, it doesn't really look like it from his picture, but, you know, maybe he'll learn to live a little at some point. Anyway, let's level him up and see what happens. So, I'm going to give him another point in Hell Knight, because I want to see whether this... Where are we? Yeah, I want to see whether this stacks. That would be intriguing to me, whether that stacks, and whether we can move at our normal speed while wearing heavy armor. That would also be interesting. Oh, yes, he does have the gnome thing. He took the version of gnome. I think it's Traveler. Is it Traveler? Yes. So, he loses hatred and defensive training, but base speed becomes 30 feet. So he moves as quickly as anyone else does. Right. Let's go Hell Knight. We get 2 points to spend. Now, right now, he's got them in Persuasion and Knowledge Arcana. We don't really need that much Knowledge Arcana. Knowledge World, he doesn't have any points in. We also don't really need that, to be honest. I think Persuasion is good, and it could potentially be good because he might be able to use Dazzling Display with his weapon, which is a mechanic I never really use, but that could be interesting. He also has a lot of points in Lore Religion, however it's not a class skill, so he's losing that +4 on it naturally. So let's go for one in there. Perception is a class skill, so we could level up Perception if we feel like Knowledge Arcana is just not really, it doesn't really have a point. This would allow him to identify magical items, do spell scroll scribing, and learn spells from spellbooks. I don't think he needs any of that. I'm just seeing if we got anything. Brew potions, I don't think he needs. Divine spell scrolling, recall knowledge about planes and people. No, I think we really just want Perception. Yeah, I think Perception is probably his best one for us. It's not something he's currently got, but I think it's probably going to end up being pretty good. I think it's good for most characters that don't get a lot of skills. Let's go with that. And now we get a feat. So we could get improved 2-weapon fighting. So you get a second attack with your offhand weapon, albeit at a -5 penalty. It's not bad. Piranha Strike. When you're wielding a light weapon or any weapon that can be used with weapon finesse, -1 on attack rolls and combat maneuver checks to gain a +2 on melee damage rolls. It's halved if you're making attack with an offhand weapon or a secondary natural weapon. Okay. When your base attack bonus reaches +4, and for every 4 points thereafter, the penalty increases by -1, but the damage rolls increase by +2. That's interesting. Well, this one's really jumping out at me as something we should get. Point blank shot, definitely not. It's got anything else in here? +2 bonus on knowledge and lore. He doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough skill points for that to be worth it, I think. Anything else in here? What's double slice? Your offhand weapon while dual wielding strikes with greater power. Add your strength bonus. He doesn't have a strength bonus, really. So we can ignore that one. When you make a full attack, each consecutive hit against the same opponent deals extra damage equal to the number of previous hits you have made against the opponent this turn. The damage is multiplied on a critical hit. Now, he is using a weapon that gives him a 4 times critical hit, which is interesting. It's not going to do that much extra damage. Anything else for him here? What's Shadow Play? You can cast Shadow spells with at +2 caster level. Well, that really just doesn't matter because he's not a spellcaster. Vital Strike? No. We could potentially give him Outflank if we wanted him to work with Seela or Roljif. Potentially. But more likely he's going to be used instead of Seela, I would imagine, if we end up having him as a more common member in our party. Dazzling Display. While wielding a weapon in which you have weapon focus, you can perform a bewildering show of prowess as a full round action. Make Persuasion Intimidate check to demoralize all foes within 30 feet that can see your display. I mean, that's interesting. There could definitely be a good... yeah, you could definitely say that's got some, merit to it. I think we take improved two-weapon fighting, though. I think that'll make sense for him. Assuming that works, which I'm not sure it does, but based on what I've been told, it should work. Right, let's have a look. His armor class went up. Yeah, so that gave him a dex bonus of 3, which tells me, in theory, one of two things has just happened. Either this has gone up to the 2nd level here, or this is stacked with that. As in, we got +1, and then we can get up to our +3, and then if I went back to fighter, we could get like another +1 and get +5 to the maximum dex allowed, which would be really good for him. But I'm not entirely sure how that's working. But anyway, yeah, that at least worked for now. I guess we could see by what's his base movement? Speed 30, ratio +10, encumbrance -10. I should have looked at it before, but I don't know. Anyway, so that is Regill. Let's see if we have any stuff for him right now in our inventory. I assume we don't. Yeah, with the Bastard Sword of Hope, which isn't really that good for him. Now, the breastplate would give him more dex bonus, but it really doesn't actually increase his armor class at all. In fact, it decreases it. So we'll keep him with this one for just now. Would it be better to have Seela or him using the half plate of Vigor? It's probably better for Seela because it has a 0 max dex and we want him to have at least something in there. Anything else that we can do with them right now? Nope. I think the only thing left to do is give him his Mythic path. Let's go. So, he doesn't use any spells. So anything that has anything to do with spells we can take right out here. What do we want? Oh, he also has Smite Chaos from his Hell Knight, but it's not really that necessary for us to get more of that. So what do we want him to do? I don't know. It seems like it's going to do a lot of damage while being fairly tanky. If there's something that can help us with that, that would be good. Every time you damage an ally, probably not good. Whenever you make an attack of opportunity, you gain bonus to attack and damage rolls equal to your Mythic rank. And the number of attacks of opportunity you can make each round is increased by 2. I mean, that could be good, potentially. But make him an inspirational leader. I don't know. Not really what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't believe he can trigger his own leading strike. Otherwise, that would be quite nice. Give him Mythic Charge. Your charge attacks deal divine damage equal to 1d6 per Mythic rank. Now, he would make, what? He would make 2 attacks on a charge, maybe? I don't know. Is charge always 1 attack? It might always be 1 attack. In which case it's 1d6. Right now. Don't know. Let's see. That's a... yeah, that's just for... that's ranged attacks. When you miss with a melee attack, you deal sonic damage to all enemies within a 10-foot radius. That's quite interesting as an idea. He either hits for a high amount of damage, or he misses and then still does damage to everything around him. Unlimited rage per day doesn't make any sense for him. You can teleport to an ally who has less than 30 hit points until the end of the next round. Your healing abilities have stuff? No. No. Range. Natural attack. Healing. Hideous laughter. Lose dex bonus to AC. 100% not. That'd be terrible for himself. You don't automatically miss when you roll a 1 on an attack roll. It's just intriguing. Not really that good. Last stand means that you wouldn't die. If your HP drops low, you become unkillable. For 2 rounds, you become immune to damage that would make you unconscious. I think that seems actually that could be quite useful for him. He's quite difficult to kill right now. This would just make him even more difficult. It would just kind of keep him up. I don't know if we necessarily need it. I kind of like Thundering Blows. Yeah. Because it does 2d6 plus 1d6 per mythic rank. So 3d6 damage to anything within a 10-foot radius. He's in melee all the time. Yeah, this makes sense. I think Thundering Blows makes a lot of sense. We'll try that on him. Right. And there we have Regill. Now, Regill in our party... I think we want like something like this for Regill when he's around. Yeah, we want to keep him on the... well, we kind of want him in at the front, but we don't really have that formation right now. Guess I could go with this formation. Yeah, let's go with this formation for just now. Lan, you're going to go down here. Darren in the center. Horse can probably hang out there. Let's try this.
Let us be off.
This looks reasonable. Yeah, this looks reasonable. Right. Let's do a quick save. Now we've done all that leveling. And let's see if we can go down here. Now, who has our best mobility? Because I suspect it's Lan, which is why I'm a little bit worried. It is Lan. And it's at 11 because he's currently got this on him. Because he's losing a 1, but that would still mean we'd have to roll 11 to get down the chasm. Oh, also Regill is encumbered? Yeah, he's slightly encumbered. Is there anything I can do to make him just not encumbered right now? Not really. So that currently gives him a -3 to a bunch of things. -3 max dex doesn't actually matter that much, I think. Wait, does it? I don't know. That doesn't seem to be applying, the -3 to max dex. But it does mean he'll get fatigued quicker. I don't know. I almost feel like that's the kind of thing where if we get a level up that gives him an extra stat, we'd want to put 1 into strength even though he's a dex user, just to be like, hey, now you're not encumbered as often. Maybe that's an argument for giving him lighter armor. Yeah, we don't have it, but maybe it's an argument for it. Go for it. Roll the dice. It worked! I forgot, our horse is actually the one who does our mobility checks. Hello. We're still alive. Praise be Sarenrae. I'll have that. Ooh, what did we... oh. Ring of Protection +2. The skeleton of a man wearing armor from the time of the First Crusade. It's holding the skeleton of a child with strange proportions and animal paws instead of its right arm and leg. Oh, so similar to a mongrel that we've seen around. Interesting. Oh, this would make sense for him to have. Anybody need a ring of protection? I mean, do we have a ring of protection? No. That's fine, I guess. Let's go with that. Is that everything that's down here? Oh, it is. Okay. Kind of weird that the check is that high for, like, nothing. But I guess that's the point. Like, not every check's going to lead to something. It's, do you want to roll the dice? Okay, let's head out of here and maybe go back to base, and then we can speak to Regill a little bit. So Greece is still there, huh? You know the problem with Greece? The person who cast Greece isn't with us right now because we removed him for Regill. That's just Woljif's revenge. Okay, we got everybody? Land needs to stand up. Oh, and it lets us exit the area here. Fantastic. Let's go. Yeah, I think I do want to just head back to base right now. So, collect all. And then we'll just do a run back to camp. Yeah, so like to here. Now that is potentially going to make us fatigued, but that's alright. Not even fatigued. I still want to enter and, yeah, probably rest, I think. Speak to Regill. Maybe we can speak to more people as well now we're back. Hello. Right. You know where we should go first? We should go over here so that we can speak to the blacksmith.
Follow me.
Hello. Right. Sort by type. Again, sell anything that isn't magical. Although I will sell the horse bardings because we have nobody who can use them. That seems reasonable. Right, deal. Now 14,000. Oh, what's going? Oh, they're speaking to Ember. Hey, little one. They say you can do magic. An old silver-haired fighter sizes Ember up skeptically, apparently baffled to find such a young girl in the middle of the war. He's cradling his wounded arm, which is being hastily bandaged. Can you heal me? That's not really her thing. You'd be better off asking Darren. Oh, I guess she can. Okay. Of course. Ember whispers a spell and touches the bloody bandages. Oh, thank you. That's so much better. The soldier rips off the blood-caked rags and strokes the healthy skin underneath them. How old are you? You're only a child. I have a granddaughter at home, just like you. Oh, little girl. How did you end up here? What are you doing in the thick of it with us? Ember gives him a light-hearted smile. I'm just like you. I came to the thick, so the thick wouldn't come to the other kids, like your granddaughter. Well, I'll be. So little, yet more courage than some officers. The old man runs a rough hand over her hair, and she smiles at him again. The crow on her shoulder rubs its head on his hand like a cat. Talking to you takes a load off my mind. I reckon it's not just my arm you healed. The soldier leaves, shaking his head pensively. Ember waves happily, then turns around and notices you. Hi. Do they often come to you for help like this? Ember shrugs. Demons kept hurting them. I keep healing them. But you know, it's surprising. So many soldiers come to me. They say I bring them comfort, that I give them strength. I don't do anything like that at all. I only talk to them nicely. I'm just a feather-brained little girl. Sure you are, Ember. Sure you are. What if something I say is wrong? Maybe I should keep quiet. But I can tell my words make them feel better. I guess I'm confused. Okay. Well, don't second guess yourself. You're helping all of us, the soldiers, our companions, and me. You think so? I think I'm just wandering around saying silly things. She taps a scarred finger on her cheek and then breaks into a smile. Alright, it must be true if you say so. Okay, sure. Don't know why they would give us a scene like that for an evil character, but there you have it. Are you still alive, Forn? Still doing good? Yep, see you later. Right, let's head along here. So, nobody new over here. I'm just going to kind of do a run around camp, check if we get any, like, random events as well. I should speak to Regill, and I should probably speak to the Queen as well. Oh, here are Hell Knights. Interesting. They get their own little area. Hello. Regill stands with his hands behind his back. His favourite pose, it would seem. He seems submerged in thought, but gathers himself immediately as you approach. His pale yellow eyes examine you inquisitively. Knight Commander, it is good you found time to meet me. There is a matter of some urgency I must discuss with you. It was incredibly interesting, the power you and your companions received during the fight at the Grey Garrison. And now my interest has been gratified. The power your companions received has passed on to me as well. It manifested after my usual evening reckoning. Interesting. So this is the first time we've heard the characters acknowledge that they've got extra powers when they weren't at the Grey Garrison, which is interesting. I believe I now present a true threat to the creatures and initiates of chaos. The imprisoned cultist we kept for certain observations experienced this firsthand. Regill's voice is unemotional, almost bored, but leaves no doubt as to the cultist's fate. Striking, isn't it? Divine intervention at a critical moment is rare, but not beyond imagining. But in this case, part of the power that you received through this intervention has passed to someone who joined you well after the fateful moment had passed. Interesting. Let's see. I don't know. Let's just say whatever the nature of this power, it will help us in our mission, and that's good. Sensible pragmatism. One must always be pragmatic. In any case, this is shallow philosophizing. You must have some questions for me. Alright, may I ask you a few questions about yourself? Of course. Hey, we can ask about the Bleaching! That's the name I was looking for earlier. I think I'm going to ask this first, but first of all, the Bleaching is a name given to the physical decolorization and aging of a gnome, and is caused by a lack of exposure to new and exciting experiences. This bleaching of color is accompanied by a psychological decline, first into depression and apathy, and eventually into madness and death. Gnomes' efforts to fend off the bleaching only serve to fuel their racial curiosity and whimsy, giving them a somewhat manic edge. Some claim that the bleaching is a result of the gnomes leaving the First World thousands of years ago. The few gnomes who survive the bleaching develop enigmatic wisdom and a connection to the natural world, earning them the name Bleachlings. So yeah, I believe Kingmaker went into it further, but there was some direct links to the First World, and you get a lot of lore and knowledge about it. And yeah, it's because the First World is so crazy and manic, and there's all these things that are popping up left, right, and center. That's just where they're naturally evolved to deal with things. And then you get into this world where everything's a bit more static, and then they have to try and create their own chaos. It's just an interesting thing. Anyway, forgive me for asking a personal question, but your hair is going grey and your skin is rather pale. It's the bleaching, right? Of course it's the bleaching. Regill shrugs indifferently. Are you doing anything to fight it? What do other races do to fight the old age? Regill allows himself a brief smirk. I know what made you ask this question. My kin have earned a certain reputation for their vain attempts to stave off the inevitable. Luckily for the rest of the world, not all gnomes are prepared to spread chaos with their reckless escapades. There are some among us who accept the natural order of things. The bleaching has no effect on my ability to carry out my duties, and therefore it has no, how should I put it, personal meaning for me. Okay. Do you have any family or friends? I have never wondered at the fate of the former, and have never had interest in the latter. If you'll allow me one piece of advice, Commander, never put too much stock in so-called friendship or camaraderie. Any bonds based on simple affection are temporary and unreliable. Half of your smiling companions certainly consider you your friend for the present, but they will break and betray you the moment you do anything that troubles their happy expectations. Place greater value on respect based on a rational evaluation of your companion's merits. I deeply respected my mentor, who trained me to join the ranks of the Hell Knights. I respected her so much that I killed her with my own hands when I discovered she'd betrayed the Order's ideals, and was intending to leave our ranks. It would have been more proper to inform the command and await the formal trial, but on the other hand, that would have injured the morale of our young recruits. They should not see manifestations of weakness in our seasoned knights. Regill cringes. Interesting. Okay. There's definitely more to that story. I wonder what she did. What brought you to Mendev? The demonic threat, of course, and the glaring inefficiency of the local command. I do not know if you are aware of this, but the Hell Knights owe their existence to the Demon Lords to a certain extent. Our First Order appeared in response to Sifkesh's cultists and Cheliacs. The chaos they wreaked could not fail to breed strict opposition. Those First Knights were able to burn out the pestilence and crush the cult once and for all. I see no reason for the Hell Knights of today not to do the same to the tentacles of the Worldwound is spreading. Without question, the task is far more difficult than anything we've encountered before. It must be done to preserve world order. All the more so, given that Queen Galfrey and her commanders are apparently not up to the task. Okay. You're rather skeptical about Queen Galfrey. If my memory doesn't fail me, the current crusade is called the Fifth Crusade. And with all the support of the Church of Iomade and multiple other allies provided to Galfrey, no progress has been made in resolving the crisis at the Worldwound. The best they could manage was to create a chain of ward stones, and even they turned out to be inadequate. I suppose that should be reason enough for my skepticism. The motives you list sound rather impersonal. Do you have any other reasons for joining the crusade? Impersonality is a fine quality for a Hell Knight, and for the rest of the world as well. Personal motives, strong emotions. They are weaknesses that your enemies will use against you. I am an effective officer, with years of service. The demonic invasion of Golarion obviously demands the most qualified response. That is why I am here. It's simple. You have openly shown your distrust of the Crusader command. Why then have you decided to join me? Do not misread my behavior as distrust of you personally. Like every Hell Knight, I watch everyone closely, searching for signs of weakness and sin. Everyone, including myself. Regill speaks the last word pointedly. Indeed, Regill Durenge is first on my list of suspects. I observe him daily, marking every fault, every hesitation, every weakness, and I prepare the proper punishment. So it has been, and will be. As for your second question, I suppose we may be useful to each other. You and your army are a new power in the Crusade. I rate all the old powers as quite ineffective. I have yet to rate your own efforts, but early indications are positive. That means you may count on my help, for now. Okay, what will happen if your assessment changes? I will inform you of this, as well as any measures I intend to take. Be aware that I treat my allies more strictly than my enemies. This is a sign of respect. No, I wasn't finished talking to you. Knight Commander, greetings. What can you tell me about the Hell Knights? I could tell you a great deal. However, the Order's recruiters would be a better source of information on such matters. How are new Order members recruited? We accept as armigers any we find worthy. A bit of an odd sentence. Anyway. But for the main test, the one that separates the strong from the weak, they must face down a devil summoned directly from hell. Now, I was told that a devil isn't actually the same as a demon, they come from different planes of the world. Okay, so devils are apparently lawful, demons are chaotic. So a devil you could have a conversation with and rationalize out something with. You know, make a deal with the devil. Well, a demon is just going to be like, I'm in it for the chaos and the bloodshed, right? That's roughly the difference from what I've been told. Which was also, I think it's Nuar in this camp. She was potentially a devil worshipper, not a demon worshipper, if that makes sense. Just slight differences, but definitely worth mentioning. Anyway, if they defeat the beast honestly, the Armiger becomes a rightful Hell Knight. If they lose, we simply forget their existence, like the world made an unfortunate mistake. Who do the Hell Knights answer to? Only to the head of their orders. In my case, it's Lictor Resark Untor, head of the Order of the Godclaw. Now, the Order of the Godclaw was the one that potentially kind of worships 5 gods at once. I think it is. Yeah, they take tenets from 5 faiths: Abadar, Asmodeus, Iomade, Irori, and Torag. Anyway, as a rule, the Hell Knights do not submit to the jurisdiction of any state. The same is true of local laws. We are happy to help local governments bring order, if we consider their request lawful, and if those who ask are worthy. But we do not serve them, and have every right to refuse their demands. So what do you value most? The law, and only the law. If you care so much about the law, how can you ignore the authority of the lawful rulers in the lands where you operate? We cannot call it law just because some foolish prince thought it up, or a council of demented elders deemed it wise now, can we? You see, one of the main principles of our brotherhood is that no one is immune from prosecution. A lawful ruler may be a criminal that poses a threat to society. We must be able to punish them as well. This is why Hell Knights only honor the measure and the chain, the doctrine shared by all our orders. Why Hell Knights serve only their officers and the aim of transforming this chaos-torn world and leading it to a brilliant and ordered future. We are the main bastion of order in Golarion, no matter how much some naysayers try to refute it. Thank you, I've learned everything I wanted to know. Expanding one's knowledge is a good deed, provided of course that this knowledge is useful. Ask if you have any further questions. Do you have a plan or strategy for the war against the demons? A spark flashes in Regill's eyes. Seems like he was waiting for us to ask this question. I have a clear idea of the forces I shall require to wage effective war against the Worldwound. Currently I do not possess them, but I know what steps I must take. We must amass and fortify, gather scouting information, resolve certain problems of an organizational nature. Once the problem of Dresden is solved, I shall direct some of my knights to prepare an outpost for the party. We have already scouted a suitable location, the ruins of an old shrine, which still hold the remnants of an ancient power, and is thus a lure for demons, an excellent foothold for honing our skills and studying the enemy. That is my next goal. Well, thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. It's just such what seems like such a cheerful ending. Like, oh, see you next time. Person who would chop my head off if I looked at him the wrong way.
Onwards.
Is this where the queen is? Just hiding? Oh, this is where Nenio is. Where's the queen? Oh, up there. Okay. I feel like it's worth speaking to the queen because we've recruited a new group. See what she has to say about it. She might say nothing, at which point we'll never go back to the queen again. How about you, Erebeth? Nothing. Alright, well, fine. Whatever. Didn't want to speak to you anyway. Now, it was also suggested that it might be worth giving this covenant to the queen at some point as well, because it's a little bit bad, because we have to keep reapplying it, but I quite like it right now, so we're going to keep it. Oh, there we go. We did get new stuff. So, you've allied with Regill Derengi. As always, the queen gets right to the point without any introductory remarks. I have not met him, but I have heard quite a lot. Hell Knights are powerful allies, and it would be unforgivable to reject their help in fighting the demonic threat. But they're nearly as dangerous as the armies of the Abyss. What's more, they swear no obedience to me, and they don't half enjoy making a show of it. I must go. I think I'm going to keep this for just now, but it's definitely worth thinking about giving it away. But it is very good, and I don't really like, as a rule, giving away things that are very good. Right, we've done a loop around. Is there anything we want to buy? Hello, how are things in camp? Iomade be praised. Everything's fine. We're well supplied, nobody's going hungry. And the sick, well, you can't run a military campaign without somebody getting sick. And they aren't taking up any more beds than usual, except... The quartermaster looks at the mound of equipment bearing the signs of recent tinkering. We're having a little problem with the soldiers' gear. The army has a standard that dictates who gets what. Except this standard is only good for fighting around Canabris. Needless to say, the conditions inside the Worldwound are completely different. The scouts have been complaining. The local vegetation is like razor blades, they say, and it's slashing the soles of their boots to ribbons. Their cloaks might protect them from the cold, but they're useless against acid, snow, or caustic mist. The scouts are missing plenty of vital gear. A coil of rope is a simple thing, but there's not even enough to go around, can you imagine? So how are they supposed to scale mountains with no rope? So I've been thinking, what if we issue them different equipment? The scouts at least. I think we just say equip them as you see fit. We give him control over it. That's more like it. I'll make sure the troops have everything they need and then some. An army moves faster if it has fleet-footed scouts. I don't know if that made any difference at all, but it's definitely worth doing just to see what he says. Alright, let's go through some things and see what we got. So flowing scales doesn't seem necessary. A shield, oh, you know what we should do before we do this? Go equip Regill. Yeah. Let's head in here and recruit Regill. Right. Move. Ooh. Anevia isn't here. Interesting. So where is she hanging out? Okay. What have we got in here? Oh, we can chuck the bastard sword in as well. I'm just going to sell that harness when we get out. Doesn't matter. Unbending armor. Half plate 1. We can sell that. The Crypt Raider's armor. Don't need it. Star Knife. Malady. No. Warhammer. Orc. Or there's an Orc double axe. Okay. So that would potentially be something for Regill. I think that was one of his ones. Masterwork composite? No, we can sell that. Have we got anything that's just like a +1? We can just sell it right now. In fact, yeah, that can go as well. Anything that's of fire, of weakness. Yeah, that one can also go. There's a lot of things going right now. That's okay. That can also go. It's not unique. That can also go. Okay, so we didn't actually find them too much, but we did find them some things to sell. What have we got here? A song thing? We don't have anybody who uses songs. Yeah, we don't have anything there. That's fine. Right, let's leave. We just basically found some things to sell. Which is fine. So I guess Regill is equipped right now. Hello. Right. Another 8,000 for us. Seems good. Deal. 22,000. Very nice. We got anything that seems like really good? Let's just go through it section by section. Weapons. So you sell a bunch of +1 weapons, which we don't need. A whole chunk of +1 weapons. Composite longbows, earthbreakers, maces, ruse, probably not necessary. Blade of order, probably not necessary. Longsword. Whenever this +3 corrosive longsword lands a hit on an enemy, it deals an additional 2d6 corrosive damage to all enemies within 30 feet. After this ability has been activated, it can't be activated again for 1d4 rounds. That seems really good. It's 75,000. Okay, never mind. Only look at things that are within our price range. Yeah, so there's nothing else here that's really that good. Most of it we sold to him. And a man team full plate. We could definitely get for our for Sela. Rock of Nature. No, probably don't need it. Tower Shield, not really necessary, and we can't afford it. Well, I mean, we can afford it, but it's not necessary. Yeah, nothing else in here is that necessary, unfortunately. Rings. +1 bonus to CMD against disarm attempts. No. Ring of Protection 2, no. Damage against flying enemies, no. No. Yeah, nothing really in here. Okay, so we can leave that be. How about you? We already have that. You got anything that's, like, good? No, not really. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Right. What was that for? I can't remember. Maybe that's one that we need to go see the storyteller about if he's ever here again. Alright, yeah, Nevia. Where's Nevia?
Onwards.
That's our next question. I think she's probably going to be in the Tirabade tent, but let's have a look. No, she's not in Tirabade tent either. Oh, we got more loot.
Let us
Don't
be
mind if I do. Alright, I got more stuff for you over here. I'm also going to turn off fighting defensively just while I remember. Why are we so far over? Oh, because it's just us. Yeah, it's just us. It's not, we haven't got our party right now. You in Nua Dendawar's tent? No. You got anything new to say? No. Okay. She's definitely got to have some stuff later. Is there a Nevia here? I'm just seeing if any of these say a Nevia. Horgus. No, she's missing. Interesting. Well, it's time to rest, I think. Let's rest. We could scribe a scroll, I suppose. Enlarge person might actually be quite useful. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Begin resting.
Are all cities on the surface as huge as this? In Canabres, our tribe would be like a drop in the ocean. It's hard to even picture what Neurosian must be like.
I should think that Neurosian, being of far grander proportions, is a much more refined city. One which offers more than just cheap public houses and lowbrow entertainments for the rabble.
Okay, cool. Hey, we got ourselves a new scroll. And we're in here. Anevia, are you back? No. Interesting. So she's gone for like a longer period of time now. Alright, we also have some more level ups that I missed, so we're going to do that. Oh, also, while I remember, I'm going to bring Woljif with us on our next thing. So, let's sort by type. Yeah, let's put that on Woljif, just so that we actually have it. The +1 to all trickery skill checks isn't amazing, but we should at least have it. Right. Soasil. Cleric level 7. Yup. Seems good to me. Anything that's got 6 in it. Yeah, so religion, perception, persuasion. All seems good to me. Needs another feat. What are we looking at for him? The problem is, if I don't use them enough, I don't know what I want them to have. I could give him a skill focus, I suppose. Make him just really good at one of these skills. Maybe like lore religion or something? That make him our lore religion guy. If we really need lore religion passed, we go to him. I mean, that could be something. We could also just give him like deck. Sorry, we can give him dodge. We've already given him dodge. Maybe? Or maybe he doesn't have enough dex for dodge. 1 additional skill point per level. Actually just a wasted level up right now. If we were to give him that. We can make him more... It gives him a bonus on persuasion and perception, which are currently 2 of the skills we have him leveling. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, let's give him persuasive. Sure, why not? Might be useful. And then he gets a bunch of new spells. Just a huge number. You can only have a certain number of them at a time, but you know, he gets a huge number of spells. And lower level spells as well. Is there anything else at lower level that we think he'll need? Firebelly, I guess, is okay. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not amazing. I mean, none of these are going to be amazing, are they? Let's just give him Bane. Yeah, that's fine. Didn't get any new level 2, didn't get any new level 3, level 4 spells. So first of all, we have to choose between Forced Repentance and Protection from Energy Communal. Force an evil creature that does not have the evil subtype to momentarily reflect on its past actions, be overcome with grief and conscience. The target immediately drops prone and begins to loudly confess all of its sins and transgressions to the caster for the duration of the spell. It ends immediately if the target is attacked. So I guess it would be like if the creature isn't evil by nature, but is like just done evil things, you could do this with it. I think we're probably better off with protection from energy communal. Restoration needs diamond dust. Okay. Unholy blight. All creatures within a 20-foot burst. Only good and neutral, not evil creatures are harmed by the spell. Oh, well, that's probably not very useful then. Medium elemental, probably not needed. Cost 20. Anything that's like 20 diamond dust, we just have to immediately remove from our list. Dismissal's interesting if we were facing a lot of things that summon, because you can basically just say no summon for you. Only lawful and neutral characters are harmed by the spell. Again, don't really need that. And when you cast this spell on a melee weapon in your primary hand, you imbue it with powerful holy energy, granting your primary weapon the Bane weapon quality against evil outsiders. Furthermore, when you score a successful critical hit against an outsider with the evil subtype, you not only deal normal critical damage with the weapon, but also nauseate the outsider for 1d3 rounds. That's too much. Critical wounds is okay. Holy Smite. Only evil and neutral characters are harmed by the spell. Good characters are unaffected. Deals 1d8 points of damage per 2 caster levels. So that would be 4d8 right now to each evil creature in the area. Or 1d6 points per cast level to an evil outsider. But it has a higher maximum. Okay. That's fine. And causes it to be blinded for 1 round. Successful will save reduces the damage to half and negates the blind effect. Only deals half damage to creatures who are neither good nor evil. And they are not blinded. Such a creature can reduce that damage by half with a successful will save. Okay, so that would hit. That's if you hit a neutral. I think Holy Smite seems like we should at least have 1. I kind of feel like we should just have 2. Yeah, just go straight up 2 Holy Smites. That could be good if we end up using them. Right, Ember. Let's go. Do we go next level witch? I mean, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, we get a feat. She's getting more hexes. Are hexes that good? Not really. Is there another option for her? I mean, if we were gonna switch her, right? We would want to switch her into a class that lets her keep her level, right? I've done this before, but like, there must be something we can switch her to. We can't do Winter Witch because we don't have Frost or Winter. Okay. Eldritch Knight, probably not. Lore Master, definitely not. War Priest. Not allowed to be an atheist. Just seeing what else we got in here. Hell Knight Signifier? What even is that? Spellcasting Arm of the Hell Knights? So you can get arcane armor stuff. I mean, that's interesting, but not really what we're looking for, and her alignment's wrong. Yeah, so she doesn't have any of these that we can get her. Arcane Trickster. She has to have a certain number of sneak attacks for that. Is there anything up here? Dragon Disciple, I believe I was told was not good for her. Yeah, I was told that this one's not really very good. So we probably shouldn't go with that because it's melee, I believe. I don't think there's anything else that lets her keep her levels. That's the thing. We want her to keep her levels as spells going up. And the only way we can really do that is to keep her as a witch. Yeah, I guess we just keep her as a witch. If I want the higher level spells, that's really the only way we can get that to happen. And she's getting them like every 2 levels, so yeah, leave her as a witch. Here, what are we going for? Persuasion. Use magic device. Was I doing lore religion on her? I think I was pivoting from lore arcana to lore religion. Yeah. I think that's what I was doing. Because I have less people who are high up on lore religion. I mean, I have a few, but like, not that many. And not all of them are going to be in the party at once, and it's not a main character thing. Feat. It doesn't recommend any of these, which is a good start. Maybe elemental focus? I just saw it here. She uses fire spells, doesn't she? I head out of here. Back to her. What if I got her? I gave her a lightning bolt. But yeah, she has a couple of fire spells. She has burning hands. Yeah, maybe we give her like fire or something. And then maybe give her fireball. Make her very fire focused. I mean, that's an option. It's not that one. It's 2. Something like that. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Feats. Let's give her elemental focus. Sure. It's +1 to difficulty saving throws against spells that deal that damage. Sure. Let's go with fire. She has a lot of fire currently. This level, we're not getting a lot that's going to be useful. Maybe reduce person could be useful. Maybe. Yeah. I suppose that could be useful. Enlarge, yes, you know what? Enlarge person is useful. Because of the synergy with LAN. And, well, yeah, the synergy with LAN. Molten Orb, I guess if we're going for fire, we should just get another fire ability. Makes our spell choices really easy when we're like, I just want fire. She can't learn fireball. I gotta say, my fire plan is really going down the drain in terms of the she can't learn fireball. Right, let's choose something else. How about greater spell penetration? Yeah, I mean, just allows you just to overcome spell resistance. Maybe that's a better idea, maybe. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, I mean, that's really what we want her to do is just apply... Maybe we want her to just apply CC. Maybe I switch it. Maybe that's what she should be doing. Yeah, and then that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, okay. Enlarge person I still think is fine at first level. She already kind of has some first level spells. I think enlarge person is fine there. Second level, Molten Orb suddenly becomes a lot worse, but we could do something like, I don't know, hold person or... web as well is pretty good. Yeah. What's pernicious poison? -4 penalties and saves against poison to one enemy creature. That one's a hit dice based one. Anything that's hit dice based is just terrible because it doesn't scale. I mean, unless you respec, but I'm not really planning on doing that. I like to stick with the decisions currently. You get a -4 penalty to dex on a creature. That's intriguing. So just make it, basically just lower AC by 2. And lower chance to hit if they're using ranged weapons. Maybe we'll take Pox Pustules. It is short range, but... well, we can work with that, maybe. Let's go with that. And then... Deep Slumber is hit dice based. Don't want it. I'm looking for anything that's got a CC ability here. Spit Venom. Range touch attack. We don't want anything that's really touch attack on her. This is Vapor. Maybe. Want something that's single target but doesn't actually force us to do a touch attack. If that makes sense. Bestow Curse. Within touch range. We don't really want that. We don't want to be within touch range to do any of these things. Maybe Stinking Cloud is fine. Yeah, Stinking Cloud's fine. I know that was quite good when it was used against us. Let's go with that. I don't know if we're really going down the right path with these characters, but hey, it's worth a shot. Right, Camellia. Well, I guess we're sticking you down the same path. Trickery seems good for you, and then maybe the Lore Religion. Yeah, okay. Seems absolutely fine. New feat for her. Now, we're using her as a ranged, so Precise Shot is good. If we're going to continue using her as ranged, but she's not really... like, it's not really going to do anything as the game goes on. We could give her, like, a focus on trickery or something. Spell Pen could be nice. What do we use her for, mostly? Mostly that buff of Ward, right? But she gets just spell books as well, so... she has a lot of spells to choose from. I don't really know what we're doing with her. I think that's part of the problem with her right now, is I don't really know what we're doing. I mean, she is probably better in melee, but I mean, we don't really want to put her in melee right now just because of what we got going on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with you. What did I take as your mythic? Maybe we'll try and synergize with your mythic. I probably just took enduring spells. Abundant casting, that's the one I meant. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Spirit Hunter, she gets the next level of spells. That's probably all that matters. Feat. I guess, yeah. We could just make her really good at removing traps. That's definitely something we could do. Or just toughness so she doesn't die. You see, none of these are like, they're not exciting me. So I'm like, oh, they can't be good. Dodge. I mean, it's not amazing, but it is fine. I guess I take precise shot. Maybe we just try and make her better archery. I mean, I don't like that idea. Yeah, I don't like it enough that I'm not going to take it. I don't know. We have to take something that makes her good. Or like, I guess I take skill focus, and I take skill focus and trickery. Yeah. Oh, she already has it? Did I already do that, or did she just come with it? She gets it. She got it at level 1. Or like, yeah, okay, so that's fine. So probably not skill focused trickery then. Because she's already got it, you see. Well that's annoying because it was the one I was going for. Maybe we give her deceitful so she's even better at it. It would give her a pointless bonus to persuasion, but even more trickery skill checks seems okay. Additional attacks of opportunity equal to your dex bonus. Does she have perception? Nope. Okay. I'm close to just choosing toughness and just being like, well, she can't die as easily. Maybe this is the call for you to where you should be like, you should switch class. If you're at the point where you're like, well, none of this is good. She does get her spirit enchantment in a couple of levels, so maybe that's something we could do. What other classes could she go? Okay, because we have no purpose for her right now in our team. She doesn't do anything apart from apply buffs. So something where we can go. Aldori Swordlord. Currently, she's got weapon finesse. She doesn't have proficiencies with dueling sword. Well, that's going to be a bad one for her there. Duelist. She doesn't have dodge. She doesn't have enough mobility. Both of those can be fixed this level. Base attack bonus. She's not quite there with. Combat mobility. Would she have the base attack bonus by level 9? Maybe. Let's have a look. So what would she get for this? You get canny defense. Wearing light or no armor and not using a shield. A duelist adds +1 point of intelligence bonus per duelist class level as a dodge bonus to armor class while wielding a melee weapon. Well, she could use a rapier, which would be good there. Using a light or one-handed piercing weapon, add her duelist level to her damage roll. I think she uses a light weapon. Okay, there's something we could do there. Bonus on initiative. Parry, so we could then parry attacks, and the problem is I don't think this is good for her. That is basically where I'm at. What about magical theurge? Okay. So we have divine spellcasting and arcane spellcasting. At first level, we select an arcane spellcasting class she belong to before adding to the prestige class. When the new theurge level is gained, a character gains new spells per day and spells known as if she had gained a level in that spell class in that spellcasting class. Combine spells first level. You can prepare and cast spells from one of your spellcasting classes using available slots from any of the other spellcasting classes. Spells prepared or cast in this way take up a slot one level higher than they originally occupied. This ability cannot be used to cast a spell at a lower level if that spell exists on both spell lists. At first level, a Mystic Theurge can prepare first level spells from one of the spellcasting classes using second level spell slots of the other spellcasting classes. Okay, I get the idea. So then you can level it up and you get combined spells. So this is a way of getting both divine and arcane spellcasting. Okay. So I guess, let's say for argument we went for that. We can currently cast divine spells, so it would allow us to get arcane spells. So we could take something like... And you'd want to take something that had spell slots. As you could still use sorcerer for that. I was saying like we'd take something like sorcerer or... What gives us arcane spells? It'd be nice if we could just be like anything that gives you arcane spells, just put in here. We'll make her arcanist. We can make her a magus. Now this has a ranged version, doesn't it? We make her like an eldritch archer. Just again for the like just sake of argument, we can make her this. We'd have to put 4 levels in it to get 2nd level spells. Well, that kind of takes it out of the plan. What else have we got? We could go wizard or witch. Witch would just be entirely pointless, given where we're currently at. Wizard could be okay. We would get 2nd level spells at level 3. Okay. And we would be able to learn spells from scrolls, which would be nice. Are there any of these that give us 2nd level spells earlier? No. What's a Cruromancer? She can't have it. Oh, you have to be a Dampier. Okay. We could do many wizard things potentially. What was that one here? If I close this, what's the Arcane Bomber? The experimentation of alchemists seem quite quaint, if not dangerous or frightening. A few wizards take up the secrets of the bomb, however, fusing alchemy with their already considerable magic power. So we can take opposition schools. We gain arcane bombs. At 1st level, the arcane bomber gains the ability to nearly identical to the alchemist bomb ability. Unlike alchemist, at 1st level, the arcane bomber chooses one type of energy from the following list. You can throw bombs of that type, but cannot modify them with discoveries. An arcane bomber can use a number of bombs each day equal to their class level plus intelligence modifier. Thrown bombs have a range of 30 feet and use the throw and splash weapon special attack. Bombs are considered weapons and can be selected using feats such as point blank shot and weapon focus. On a direct hit, the arcane bomber's bomb inflicts 1d6 points of damage to the chosen energy type plus additional damage equal to the arcane bomber's intelligence modifier. What is your intelligence level? Before we go anywhere further into this, it's terrible, so there's no reason to go down this path. What do you have? You really just have dex. That's really it, dex and wisdom. Alright, I'm starting to think that probably we're better off just leaving you either as a shaman or moving on from that one at least. Hell Knight Signifier. You just ignore what it says under alignment. Minor spoilers. But she can't take it. Yeah, that's fine. Assassin. If we gave her 4 stealth, she could become an assassin. What does an assassin give her? It gives her no spells. But we can then use poisons that deal damage and get sneak attack. I mean, that's okay. We can hide from view. We can use death attack as a standard action. Okay. Anything else in here? Arcane Trickster. We don't have the ability to cast arcane spells. That kind of takes that out. Lore Master. We don't have skill focus. We don't have a meta magic skill focus, I think. It's the problem. We can then have a spell book. Spells of the day as if we had been in the spellcasting class we belonged for before. Okay, that's fine. Do not, however, gain other benefits the character of that class would have gained except for additional spells per day, spells known, and increased effective level of spellcasting. If a character had more than one spellcasting class before, you must decide which one. You get a secret. Okay, which allows you to choose different things, potentially. Okay, like cleric spells, druid spells, will spells. Then you get lore. Secret, lore, secret. But you're not really a lore person because you have no intellect. Druid can't take. Dragon Disciple can't take. Winter Witch can't take. You gonna hate it after all of this? I think I'm gonna leave her as a shaman. I don't know. The thing is, I get there and I'm like, I don't think that's actually gonna make you any better. And then I just leave it. Okay. maybe we give her... Try to think what we need for the... This one gives us snapshot, which would potentially allow us to have a threaten radius with our crossbow, so we could take shots when people come in close. Or we could potentially go down the elven stuff, so knowledge arcana checks. She doesn't really use unarmed. Give her meta magic. Like empower a spell. Or yeah. Make it persistent. Don't know. Piranha Strike's probably not very good for her right now. Precise Strike. Could be alright. Potentially. Spell focus. Any spells of that school are more difficult to resist. Does she have a school that she uses more often on enemies? That would be an interesting one. Abjuration. She has a couple for evocation. A lot of conjuration and conjuration appear to be mostly defensive or summoning. Abjuration. Again, same. Yeah, only necromancy really gives her anything else. Yeah, so probably that's not going to be that useful. Skills. Back in here, choose the skills. Well, I have no idea. Basically is what I'm getting at. I'm going to give her spell penetration. Maybe. Arcane armor thing is not really worth it because she doesn't use arcane armor. I'm just seeing the other ones that didn't want us to have. No. Concentration checks don't really matter for her. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just probably gonna take like spell penetration or toughness. Let's just take spell penetration, I guess. It's not really very good. Or we take scribe scrolls. She does have enough intellect to do it in theory, but she... No. Well, unless, what does her scribe... Does this allow you to scribe scrolls? Divine scrolls. Yeah, okay. I'm going to take scribe scrolls. That gives her a purpose in life. Even if it's just sitting at camp, she can scribe her scrolls. Done. That was a long level up. I do apologize. The back and forth was not great. She has to take Thorn Body here, which is good when people strike her, which implies that they kind of wanted her to be melee. Greater False Life, 2d10 plus 1 point per caster level of temporary hit points. Very nice. Spike Stones. Stop progress through an area, or impede progress through an area and deal damage, and make you move half speed. Maybe. Life Blast. Deal 1d6 points of positive energy damage per caster level to any undead creatures in the spell's path. Divine Power. Imbue yourself with strength and skill in combat. Ice Storm. Ice Storm's probably good. Yeah, it's just AoE damage, basically. Yeah. And then it has heavy snow in the area that causes more negative effects. Yeah, that seems good. Right. So, is everyone leveled up? We're all leveled up. Right. We've rested. Well, we did rest before we did this. Let's end the episode there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.